Welcome to the Wellness on Purpose podcast, your go-to source for impactful, educational, and realistic information designed to propel you forward on your journey to intentional well-being, not just for today, but for the well-being of future generations. Join us as we dive into insightful conversation with industry and brand leaders in the ever-evolving landscape of the health and wellness industry. Discover the latest trends, gain valuable perspectives, and uncover practical tips to elevate your wellness journey starting today. This podcast is brought to you by Joanne's Place Health Foods, your trusted partner in health, located in the heart of Peterborough and Lindsay, Ontario. I'm your host, Marissa Laughlin, and I'm thrilled to be guiding you through this season of the Wellness on Purpose podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wellness on Purpose podcast, where we explore the latest innovation in natural health and wellness. Today, we have one of our favorite guests joining us on the podcast again, Irene Pauline from Living Alchemy. Living Alchemy is known for its unique approach to fermented herbal and mushroom supplements, and I'm so excited to discuss the launch of their new product line, MycoSynergy Mushrooms, today with Irene. So without further ado, join me in welcoming Irene back onto the podcast. Hello, Irene. Welcome back to the Wellness on Purpose podcast. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing very, very well. It's a busy time of this season, but it's a beautiful time. We've got lots of things in bloom, that's for sure. And the sun is shining over here in the Okanagan, so no complaints.
That's so nice. Over in Ontario, we're finally starting to see the warm weather, the sunshine, things start to bloom. So we are finally at the end of our winter season, heading into spring, which is exciting. And it's always a time where I think people start to, look at their daily routines, look at their daily habits and say, okay, how can I better what my routines are and just start to feel good again? I think we all have this intention January, February to start to instill those habits. But I know for myself personally, it's usually around this time where I get that inspiration to kind of reset, whether it's my daily workout routine or my supplement routine or my eating habits. So, I know for today's episode, I'm excited to have you here to kind of talk about some new, fresh, fun things in the world of mushrooms and Living Alchemy. And I am just so excited. So there is some new launches and a product line for Living Alchemy. What is the MycoSynergy mushroom line? What makes this so unique that Living Alchemy has brought it to the health and wellness space?
Yeah, so this line took Living Alchemy over 2 years to develop. We wanted to make sure that we could do it differently and that we could provide the cleanest mushroom capsules available out on the supplement shelves, because we know mushrooms, it's a crowded category out there. When you walk into your health food store, you've got a lot of mushroom products to choose from. Living Alchemy, we have chose some of the top functional mushrooms using only fruiting body and doing what we do best, which is fermentation. So we are now at Living Alchemy fermenting fruiting body mushrooms, which is really exciting. So that's where we use our traditional fermentation process, including kefir and kombucha.
Okay, I want to come back to that fermentation process because I should say some of our listeners probably are new to the podcast. And if they're new, we've had Irene on the podcast before to talk about fermentation, Living Alchemy, and what makes this brand so unique. So can we just back it up a second there and talk about fermentation process and what this really is in terms of bioavailability, effectiveness that you are using to also enhance the line of mushroom formulation as well?
Yeah, so what fermentation does to the mushroom, it helps to break down the hard cell walls. So just like when you are shopping in the grocery store for your mushrooms, or maybe you're foraging in the forest, you're not biting into that mushroom like it's an apple, right? You're usually cooking your mushrooms, and that's to help break down those hard fibers, release the medicinal compounds, and that's where you see other supplement lines using different processes to access these medicinals that come from these magical fungi. And so with that, with Living Alchemy, we choose to use fermentation, and it's the most natural form of fermentation. It's a living culture fermentation. And so this is where we use water-based kefir grains and a kombucha SCOBY. So this is a similar process. It's called Symbio that we use for all of our Living Alchemy products. And so we've we've studied it quite a bit with mushrooms and how it helps to break down that hard cell wall, making those insoluble fibers now easy to digest. So this is where you get the prebiotic benefits from our fermented mushrooms, right? And then you also get the postbiotic benefits from our fermented mushrooms. And then in addition, all the medicinal benefits that come from your mushrooms, like your beta glucans and polysaccharides, alpha glucans, this is all encompassed within this accessible, very bioavailable mushroom fruiting body. And then in addition to, we've got 2.5 times greater amino acids when we are fermenting these mushrooms this way. So there's a wide array of benefits, easy to digest, greater bioavailability, which means absorption when you're consuming these mushrooms. And then you're seeing really great benefits from our customers that I'm excited to share with you today too.
Amazing. So it's taking like the amazing magical benefits of how great mushrooms are and then up leveling it from the fermentation process to make it more bioavailable, to get, greater strength, better absorption. So I love that. And I think also I love it. I mean, obviously I'm a fan of Living Alchemy, but I know for myself personally, I always struggle with digestion, whether it's food, even sometimes digesting different supplements, superfoods. I do struggle with a lot of digestion issues. So whenever I can help to alleviate some of those symptoms, especially when it comes to supplements, to make sure I'm actually absorbing it, I like to go the route of fermentation. So I love that. So when it comes to mushrooms, there's lots of different formulations, there's lots of different techniques out there. But I would love for you to talk about quality and testing of mushrooms and how Living Alchemy is growing their mushrooms, what kind of testing is involved as you're formulating these products, and what really sets Living Alchemy apart from other mushroom companies in our industry.
Yeah, so this is something that all of our customers should really be asking if they are consuming mushroom supplements. And this is important to provide that therapeutic value, right? Because it's really great to, sprinkle in some mushroom powder into your coffee or your smoothies. And that's great to be incorporating more of that in. But choosing a capsule-based mushroom supplement means that you're getting a pre-measured dose and you're able to use it for consistent use to see results that are therapeutic. So that's why if you're looking to get a health solution, I'd always go for capsule-based. Knowing that our Living Alchemy's capsules are some of the cleanest capsules out on the market. It's organic, it's vegan, it's also a fermented capsule, so it means it's also a prebiotic. So it's very easy on the digestive tract because we're all about gut health at Living Alchemy. But furthermore, what's in the capsule? So the medicinals. So wherever feasible, as I mentioned, Living Alchemy uses fruiting body mushrooms only. That means that there's no substrates, there's no growth mediums. We don't use oats or brown rice or anything like that. In the growth medium, our mushrooms are actually grown on wood. And they have a very natural, long life cycle. So it's not as the commercial purposes would be, that would be maybe a 3 to 5 day to 10 day growth cycle when they're grown on oats or something like that. With Living Alchemy fruiting body mushrooms grown on wood, this is where our reishi's grown up for a year. So we use Ganderma lucidum. That's the type of species of reishi. And it is a growth cycle of about a year. Our lion's mane is 3 months, and that's comparative to some others that might only be, under 2 weeks. So quite impressive, long growth cycle, so a natural growth cycle. Fruiting body grown on wood. And of course, with Living Alchemy's quality, just as all of our other products, we use USDA certified organic fruiting body mushrooms and non-GMO project mushrooms. So that is really important with quality. And then to answer your question about testing, so also something that customers should be asking, so I'm really glad that you did, so that we could get this messaging across, is third-party testing of our mushrooms. This is important to us, and this is where we source our mushrooms from Asia, and that is where we respect traditional Chinese medicine with Living Alchemy, and this is where we've seen the highest quality of medicinal value. So the highest beta glucans are coming from the mushrooms that we are sourcing from China. And they're the cleanest form, being in their native region, being certified organic and non-GMO project verified. Of course, we get testing from our growers, but also we further get third-party testing of this raw ingredient. And this is where we test for bad bacteria, mycotoxins, gluten, yeast, heavy metals. All of this is being tested with every batch before fermentation. So when we receive the raw ingredient, and during fermentation, and then after as well. So before encapsulation. So we're quite rigorous with our testing at Living Alchemy, incorporating third-party testing, ensuring that it's free of, heavy metals, and our products being gluten-free. And this is something that we really wanted to provide the cleanest mushroom capsules on the market. So I hope that you've seen that we've been able to achieve that here.
For sure. And I think, as you said, it's important for people to be asking these questions, but especially when we're talking about something that's so supportive for the gut, we want to make sure it is free of all of those things that cause reactions, potential allergens, things like that. And I think heavy metals, I'm seeing so many brands talk about, or not necessarily brands talk about, but like people questioning if brands are testing for heavy metals. So appreciate that you guys already have that covered, but it is a really important thing to know, because heavy metal toxicity is another conversation on its own. But when we're looking at supplementation, if we can minimize that exposure or avoid it, it's really important. So,
and something I'd add to that, in addition to just, there's heavy metals, so reducing that exposure, but also reducing the exposure to unnecessary fillers and chemicals and additives. So I always have to, encourage our shoppers in the health food stores to pick up the product, read the label, medicinal ingredients, obviously those matter, but non-medicinal ingredients. So with Living Alchemy, we don't use fillers, additives, nothing unnaturally. Our whole line is magnesium stearate free. So once again, really striving to give you the cleanest mushroom capsules out on the market in Canada.
Quick pause in today's episode because I want to talk to you about a transformational online program. In case you missed it, Joanne's Place released an online program called the Wellness on Purpose Program to Educate You last year. And our intention with this program is to make this education more accessible for our community to better support their wellness journeys. This program promotes sustainable and realistic changes, and it really focuses on the foundational pillars of every single person's health: your nutrition, your sleep, your stress, and also movement. If you want to get started today, click the link in the description below to learn more about the Wellness on Purpose program. By the way, it's completely free, and you can move at your own pace from the comfort of your own home. Now let's get back to the episode. I would love to get into more of the specific products that you guys are, launching in this mushroom line. And there's 4 of them. So let's break them down individually. Let's talk about their key benefits and who they would support for our listeners. So let's start with lion's mane. What are the key benefits of the fermentation MycoSynergy lion's mane?
Yeah, so the key benefits with, lion's mane in general, it's going to help with nerve regrowth. It's going to help with neurotransmitters, so cognition support. What this means for your customers, it could be anything from helping students intake their information in classrooms, with studying and exams when using consistently, helping with seniors for memory loss, even, middle age for brain fog or popcorn brain. But it's quite popular for seniors. And that's where we have health claims on exactly that 50 plus and then under 50 as well. So different dosings required for those age groups. But for 50 plus, you're seeing lion's mane published studies out there to help with Alzheimer's, dementia. And this is where it really is doing some great work. There's quite a bit of published research with lion's mane. It's a very popular, beneficial mushroom for a lot of different people.
For sure. And I would say that's probably seniors is the demographic that we typically see coming in to support lion's mane. I will see there are some other customers who are coming in that I would say just have really stressful jobs and they're looking for an array of different things, but they want just a little bit stronger clarity, a little bit more stronger brain power. So lion's mane is definitely a hot product right now, I will say. And I think it's something that's going to stay because there's so many different things that it can help with, but it's just like a really great product. But do you think that there is a specific dosage that makes it effective, or is it something that can be like kind of microdosed?
Yeah, so on our product label, we've got the health claims for adults 18 to 49 years old. Take one capsule 1 to 2 times daily. And then you can take it with or without food because it is easy to digest, being fermented, right? And then adults of 50 years and older would take 2 capsules 2 times per day. So that's what I would recommend. And with lion's mane, it is one that you want to stay consistent with for long-term results. And so it's a goodie. I've actually got a testimonial that just came in that I'd love to share, if that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
please do.
I'll read this one. So 70-year-old woman had been suffering with hand tremors since her childhood. She started taking MycoSynergy lion's mane, 2 capsules 2 times per day, so just as the label suggests, and her tremors completely disappeared. She went off lion's mane for 2 weeks and the tremors came back. After resuming the protocol, the tremor is now gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, since childhood and now 70 years old. So I love hearing those results. I mean, that's why we've made these products. So it's very impressive, that one.
Wow, really impressive. And I love that customers share these feedbacks and their testimonials with you so that you can also share with other people. But I just love that people take the time to give their honest feedback. I just appreciate it so much. Okay, reishi. This is another really big mushroom that we see so many people looking for, but also like I see so many people on social media talking about it. There's some truth to some things, not so much truth to things, but let's talk about the benefits of reishi for stress and sleep, because those are two very common concerns that a lot of people come in looking for. How does reishi actually support relaxation and the nervous system health, and if there are other benefits for it as well?
Yeah, so reishi mushroom is really the king of the forest. It is a mushroom that's an adaptogen mushroom. So I like to call adaptogens these smart plants, a fungi. And they really are able to read our systems, our bodies, to adapt as it seems fit. So it works directly on the nervous system, supporting the adrenal glands. So this is where it helps with everything from reaction time, if it is anxiety, if it is reducing cortisol levels, and further brain cognition. So it does help with forgetfulness, like you mentioned. Other benefits, I mean, we have health claims for reishi mushroom as a liver tonic. I don't know if people knew that. Also nourishes the heart, strengthens qi, which is that vital force, that energy within the body. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's respected in that way. It can also help with phlegm, coughs, wheezing. It also helps to support the blood, support heart, spleen deficiencies. Even poor appetite, which I know some people might be suffering from too. So this, I mean, even lung support. So reishi is very well encompassing. Personally, I find that this is one that I can just take as needed and it works with me in that moment. So if it's before bedtime, right, you can take it to help relaxation. If it's before meditation or like a yoga class or something, I really like it that way. A customer that has told me that this is her new favorite product. She's been working in our industry forever and she no longer needs to take any other adaptogens. Since she has been using reishi consistently, she's finding more grounding, that she's calming and she's sleeping great. So overall consistency. There's great ways to use reishi mushroom into your daily lifestyle.
Amazing. I had no idea with some of those benefits, especially when it comes to heart, blood, and the lungs. So interesting. Now, when you're taking reishi, is there a specific time of the day that's more optimal to take this? Or is this kind of like you mentioned, you take it as you need? So can you take it at any time?
Yeah. So the dosing on here is 2 capsules 2 times per day, in and around that. I always like to say personally start low and slow and see where that number works for you. So starting with one. And going from there. The time of the day, it really depends when you need support. So that's the other piece of that, right? When it comes to supplementation, and I do love speaking to this, is intuitively working with the body. You need to really listen to the body to hear if it is something that is a match for you, if it is something that, if it's morning, nighttime, like I can make general suggestions and recommendations, but it's always going to be different for everybody. Like I said, myself works right away. A colleague of ours, it is something consistent use and overall well-being. So this is where it varies for sure.
And I think mushrooms in general, with their adaptogenic properties, it's very unique depending on like your own personal experience, what you're using them for. For me, reishi, I like to take it at night. I like that relaxation, that calm down, like kind of shuts my brain off a little bit of that rapid like to-do list. So that's when I prefer to take it more for sleeping. But yeah, as you said, you got to listen to what your body needs. So next one I want to talk about is turkey tail. I am going to be so transparent. This is not one I know a whole lot about, and I don't think a lot of people talk about turkey tail. So first off, let's talk about even what turkey tail mushroom is. Like, who would be looking at supplementing with this specific mushroom?
Yeah, so turkey tail is this beautiful, colorful mushroom that is actually grown. I mean, you can harvest it in Ontario and BC, throughout Canada. So it's quite common in our forests. And this mushroom is something that is definitely on the radar, and it's becoming more and more popular. I have dove deep into the research and the published research out there, and I am over the moon impressed. So now turkey tail is a part of my staple regime, that's for sure. So I, always encourage listeners, new supplement users, to do your own research, see if it is something that is a match for you. But what you will find out there is that turkey tail has published studies on different clinical trials, cohorts of people that are undergoing cancer treatment. So specifically different types of cancers and different types of chemotherapy. So taking turkey tail alongside the chemotherapy helps to reduce the side effects of the chemotherapy, so improving quality of life. So turkey tail is very impressive for that aspect of things. So it's kind of one of those mushrooms that I do encourage to speak to your health practitioner if it's a match for you. So turkey tail helps with quality of life or immunoreactivity within the body. And then so that's microbiome health, but also specifically targeted for gut microbiome health too. And this is where anyone that's on, if you're a lover of Living Alchemy, you might already be on your flora probiotics. And so if you want to up the ante and really further work on the next level of digestive health. So if you're suffering from IBS, IBD, this is where I go with turkey tail. So pairing your flora probiotic with turkey tail to improve gut health is the regime that I'm recommending to a lot of clients. Seeing a lot of great results. Specifically looking at a gentleman here, he mentioned that he has seen great results. He suffered from IBS diarrhea. And he found that actually turkey tail was the missing link for him, and it really improves stool consistency. So that pairing with the your flora as well, because I know he was taking your flora terrain with our turkey tail. So it's that great pairing to really just focus on to gut strength. And then that's going to improve immunity, cognition, that side of things. I've got a history of blood cancer. And so that's where turkey tail is now my go-to, and it's going to be my go-to. I mean, for preventative, for, future cancers and everything like that too, how it works on microbiome health. So that is where it's one that you're going to get a lot more people asking about. And I hope more people do their research on turkey tail, because the possibilities with how it can really help our cellular health are going to really just further grow with a lot of benefits.
Amazing. Yes, I had no idea about those. I knew that turkey tail could be supportive for gut health, and I'll tell you how I know. got to that conclusion. I'm celiac, so I'm allergic to gluten, allergic to wheat, and it has been probably, I would say, about 15 years with this diagnosis of, monitoring it. I avoided at all cost. However, I was just exposed at a conference, and the aftermath and the healing when you're exposed to something that you're allergic to is not easy. It's not night and day, but I had to go to the medical route of supporting myself when I got home, and now I'm on past the medication part, and now I'm on the healing of the supplement side. So Train's already in my realm of supplements right now, but the turkey tail I think would be a really great addition just to rebuild that gut microbiome back, to heal the gut lining, to boost my immune system or help regulate it. So when I was doing kind of, my research on what is the next step you need to take, mushrooms were suggested. So I remember reading about turkey tail, and I think that might be the best thing to be adding in next.
Yeah, I think so. And that's exactly it. After medication, hospital visits, that's where to repair, to strengthen. So yeah, I can't wait for you to try it and see how it works for you. The dosing on turkey tail is just 1 or 2 capsules a day. So that's kind of nice too, right?
Amazing.
So I like that. Our turkey tail has some of the highest amounts of beta glucans available. So that's where, get the prebiotics, the postbiotics, but then the highest beta glucan count from our turkey tail, which this is, something that's very, very beneficial for many.
Yeah, for sure. Now with the turkey tail, especially because you touched on, taking it alongside cancer treatment. I know it's important, and for everyone listening, we'll repeat again, you need to talk to your healthcare practitioner, especially in that realm health of treating. But is there any side effects that we should be mindful of in terms of turkey tail, or like people who should absolutely not take this product?
Yeah, I think with that one, it's going to be a talk to your medical health practitioner based on your history, based on the medication. There's a wide array of them, and that's where I'm always going to direct it in that case.
For sure, I agree. Okay, so we talked about the big 3, but there is another amazing product that has hit the shelves at Joanne's Place, and it is called Immune 8, and this has 8 different supportive ingredients in this formulation. So can you talk about what is all in this combination?
So with Immune 8, so we've got that fermented lion's mane, fermented turkey tails in there, fermented reishi, but in addition to, we have fermented maitake, fermented shiitake, fermented chaga, fermented cordyceps, fermented Archicaceous blazea as well. So that's 8 different mushrooms in the Immune 8 product. And this is really for the ultimate immune support. So if it is cold and flu season, if you're going through a bug or an infection, or, in your household and you want to be preventative. So either preventative during or thereafter to repair, depending on what you're going through. That is where Immune 8 is. It's super powered. That's for sure. Knowing Living Alchemy always uses certified organic mushrooms. So all of these are certified organic, non-GMO, project verified mushrooms, which I'm sure we'll get into the whole quality and testing and everything like that. But yes, Immune 8 is a hard hitter, and it is a top seller for us. So it's really great to see lots of our customers loving Immune 8.
Awesome. So you mentioned kind of that heavy hitter for like cold, flu season, body defense, but what are your thoughts on taking it during times of prolonged stress? Would that be a time to also take it?
Yes. Thanks for adding that point in. And so the dose on this one is 1 to 3 times a day, right? So that's where, if you are going through some sort of infection immune response, and that's where I would follow that dose. For stress, depending what your stress levels are looking like, because these mushrooms help with a lot of different, the nervous system response and whatnot. This is where it would certainly help. With any stress that might be occurring. So you could always start low and slow.
Amazing. So this formula helps to strengthen the body's defense in helping to, is it boosting the immune system, or is it modulating? Is it suppressing? What is it doing to the immune system?
Yeah, so with Immunate, it is going to be more boosting the immune response. And so this is where, because it has a variety of mushrooms, so that's where it's going to help to stimulate. It's got the cordyceps in there, maitake further. So this is where it will really strengthen the immune response.
Amazing. We've talked about 4 incredible products today. But for our listeners who are coming into Joanne's place and they're introducing or wanting to introduce a mushroom for the first time, and they maybe aren't struggling with one specific ailment, but they're looking to enhance longevity and just general overall health, what would be the product that you would recommend to them out of these 4 products we talked about today?
Yeah, so I would say for longevity, overall well-being, you're starting to dive into the world of medicinal mushrooms and all of their variety of benefits. I'd go with reishi. It is one, we talked about that long list of benefits. So in one way or another, you're going to see just the optimization of health. If it's stress, if it's sleep, if it's, forgetfulness, or if it is more heart health and circulation. So that's where, and, like I said, for me, it worked right away. So that's where I want your customers to feel that difference. And I know reishi is a good match for a lot of people. It's also safe. I don't know if you knew this, but it is safe for pregnancy as well. So reishi babies out there exist. I hear they're these beautiful, calm beings. So you might get some moms popping in store looking for a reishi. But this is where, a lot of healthy aging, healthy inflammation response. And that's where that longevity piece really is a match. Of course, if you have got any pre-existing health conditions or medications, do look at your history, do your research, talk to your practitioner team as well. But yeah, that's a go-to right now.
I would probably echo that because I am also a big reishi fan, but it does work so quickly. And I think with people, unfortunately, they want instant gratification of taking a supplement. And I feel like reishi is the one that's like, oh, this is working quite quickly. And they, feel more convinced to continue to take it. But as you said, it also has a host of benefits of taking it. So I love that. I didn't know that about pregnancy and reishi though. Good to know. I think we could have a whole generation of just really calm babies enter our world, and that would be amazing. So good. Amazing. Well, this has been such an insightful conversation, and I do feel like many of our listeners are going to be able to take different pieces of today's episode and resonate with it, and hopefully start taking some medicinal mushrooms. So thank you so much, Irene, for joining us on the podcast today and sharing your insights into the mushroom world. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on again. It's always a joy, that's for sure. I love our chats and can't wait for the next one.
Of course.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us for another insightful episode of the Wellness on Purpose podcast. We hope you found the information valuable and inspiring to support you along your wellness journey. Before we go, a quick reminder. The content shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, it's important to remember that everyone's health journey is unique. We strongly recommend consulting with your healthcare professional or a qualified health practitioner for personalized advice tailored to your specific needs and circumstances. Your well-being is a priority, and speaking to a healthcare professional ensures that you receive guidance that best aligns with your individualized health goals. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please reach out to us through our website. That's all for now. I hope you stay well, stay informed, and remember, your health is your greatest wealth. Until next time, take care.